Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our fourth week of our 7 weeks to self awareness journey. I hope this series is serving you and that you're implementing the models, the techniques that we are talking about throughout this program, because I promise you, the minute you start implementing, incorporating it, you will start seeing the shifts and you'll feel so much more empowered and so much more in control of your life. And I mean control in a nice way, in the sense that you're able to regulate your life a lot much better. My name is Salma Ghaznavi and I'm the founder of The Magnificent Me. My passion is to really help people to recognize the magnificence within them, so that they can live their life fully and powerfully. And I do this by teaching people to do away with their old stories and write new stories for themselves and create a new identity, a new role that matches this new story. So today's topic is emotional intelligence, or emotional IQ. And basically there are 4 stages or 4 steps to it. The first one is self-awareness, followed by self-management. Then there is social awareness, and finally there is relationship management. So the first step, self-awareness, is becoming really aware of your thoughts, your emotions, your conclusions, decisions, and so on. And when things go wrong, when things are not working out for us, it's quite easy, and it's a practice thing, that we tend to go into this self-protection mode, and we become more immersed in ourselves and drawing conclusions and jumping to assumptions. So self-awareness actually helps us to come out of that. And I want to convey this whole model through an example or experience that I went through recently. And it was a situation that happened at work which really impacted me. So the management made some decisions and that didn't sit well with me at all. Like when I was told about it, it just felt like someone hit me so hard in my stomach, and there was this churning and discomfort. And when the news was delivered to me, I just sat with it. I wasn't quite sure how to process it. I was going through all this anger and I felt let down and so on. So when I had the opportunity, which was actually within half an hour after the news was delivered to me, what I did was I took a break and I walked out and went to the parquet and just sat on the bench and just basically just sat down, and the fresh air and just coming out of the environment just brought me into this different place. And I just started self-reflecting and looking at what was my reaction, what was happening within me, what decisions or conclusions I was coming to. And I was just basically observing it, not making any judgments, nothing. I was just observing it, and just, of course, the churning was there, the discomfort was there, but I was so adamant to really understand what was happening. And then after that, when I came back to work, I just took some time, and I knew I needed to sort this out because it was going to impact my work, it was going to impact my relationship, and I didn't want to hold on to any resentment. I wanted to really sort it out. And my best friend is really my paper, and when I do coaching, I do a lot of self-reflective questions. So I decided to self-coach myself. And the questions I asked myself was, why was this particular event triggering me so much? What meaning was I attaching to this event? For what purpose? For what purpose I was reacting this way? Was there a different way to look at it? So as I asked these questions, I started reflecting, and as a result, what happened was I recognized that some of the things I was exaggerating, and I could actually see my emotions and so on. So from self-awareness, now I was able to manage my emotions because I understood it so much better. I didn't buy into the stories that my mind was telling me. I went deeper, asking reflective questions which came from a place of inner knowing, from inner wisdom. And as I did that, I started feeling a little bit more in control. I could regulate my emotions a lot more better. I was calmer, and as I did that, it just expanded the space now. So I said, okay, fine. So what about the management? What is it like? Why did they make this decision? Like, and what was the thought process and so on. And of course, though I couldn't answer it all, but I could see it from a different perspective, not just my perspective with judgments and assumptions which I made in the first time I heard it, but I could come from this place of observing it from a different perspective and saying, like, what's going on here? And I understood that management needs to make certain difficult decisions. I may or may not agree with how it had transpired, but I also knew that there was a lot of thought that went into it, and possibly it was not the easiest decisions for them to make because it was very uncharacteristic. So this made me a little more empathetic towards them. So I was moving now from self-awareness to self-management, now social awareness, that what's going on. And I didn't want to sit with this yucky emotions or with even doubts or judgments about the whole situation. So I know the management also was very keen on talking to me, and I said that I wanted to have a chat with them. And I had a chat with each individual and expressed openly. We were transparent, we communicated, and basically I saw the rationale behind their actions and they saw my rationale or my reaction, and basically we was able to mend the bridge or mend a rift that might have come about if this whole situation was not addressed. So basically I moved as a result to this fourth stage of relationship management. And though this happened very, very quickly, because I understood at that time intuitively that I needed to move, and the action happened so quickly that there was not enough time for these resentment to incubate. And I'm so glad that I went through this process, because I could see in action how impactful this whole model is. To be honest, I didn't do it consciously like this model, but it just happened. And then when I looked at the emotional IQ model, I said, oh yes, this is exactly what happened. And I believe that as a result of this open conversations, of having transparencies, there was a lot more respect between us. And also it's just sort of, I think, we understood each other's expectations. Now, what I want to invite you to do, the whole purpose of this is you can listen to all the self-development, all the stuff out there, but when information is not implemented, it means nothing. So I invite you to implement this into your life. Think of a situation, think of a scenario which was difficult, where you were stressed, and how you could have handled it better through this model. And if you are in a situation like this, or when you do, consciously, it's a matter of practicing too, right? Like, so really look at the situation, look at scenarios, and see how you can move through the stages. Because I promise you, it's not difficult. It's just that we haven't practiced it, so it doesn't come. But when you do, you'll see that you feel so much more empowered, and you also have so much more influence, and your relationships get better. This is actually very, very useful in relationships. close relationships with your spouse or children or whatever, it really makes a lot of difference. So I invite you to share your insights in the comments below, and do share this video with your friends and with your colleagues and family members. So till we meet again, let your magnificence, live your magnificence and shine your light. Love you and stay blessed.